Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some pretty interesting stuff to go and talk about in regards to brand new huge actual releases when it comes to the PlayStation 5 and from Sony themselves. We're also seeing some expected numbers we'll be looking for, kind of release dates, a lot of information, some big leaks too as well, and a lot of really cool stuff going on. So I always love when I have a chance to make videos like this because at the end of the day, that does kind of give us a little bit more, I guess good attention to detail, a little bit more stuff to be on the lookout for, and also kind of gives us maybe something to look forward to in this upcoming state of play. Now, this may not be officially announced, and we may have to still, wait for the corporate sign-overs and NDAs to end all that stuff, but at the end of the day, I'm kind of liking it. So we have a lot of stuff to go talk about, so let's go talk about it. As well as I have another brand new, actually kind of like a little bit of a community challenge over here. I'm going to have this link down below, but as you guys know, we've been mentioning the brand new Samsung monitors. I'll have both the actual monitor link itself and everything else with it, but also I'll have the link to my tweet for it. I kind of figured maybe if I get like a lot of likes over here, we can probably try our best to go and squeeze out a nice little giveaway for you guys, like a nice little $1,500 giveaway or so. So I figured might as well, if you guys want to be a part of that, we'll do a nice little challenge. I should like 90% be able to go do it, just making sure it should be all good as well. So if you guys want to go down, leave that link down below. Same with the monitor itself and the usual Amazon, Twitter, and Twitch streams down below if you want to follow the Weebles, the Coinbases, leave a like if you guys want it, and also obviously your thoughts as well. So as we mentioned, we have a lot of stuff to go and talk about all throughout this video. So with this, we actually do have a pretty good vibe. So with this is more regards to the PlayStation VR2. Now, first and foremost, I kind of want to know how many of you guys are actually interested and want to go get it in the first place. Leave your comments down below. But with this, we've actually now had even more folks out here who's actually had a chance to work with like proper supply chain integrations and actually like the making and production and all this type of stuff when it comes to VR. This is over here from Ming Chinkuk, if I said that correctly, Min Chi Chu Chow, if I always said it correctly. Basically have a nice little tweet that's kind of pushed even more information on the PSVR2. And as you guys know, we have had it officially announced. This is also what a lot of the next upcoming state of plays will be in regards to. So with this, he starts off by tweeting this: "My latest supply chain check suggests that the assembler and several component providers of the PSVR2 will start mass production, so very soon, like as of, and probably maybe even as of right now, with about 1.5 million units shipments in 2H 2022. So I think it's just like the second half, I believe, of 2022. So basically, as of like maybe like 1 or 2 months from now, it actually will be starting like big major production, or as of right this second, maybe it's even in like the small time production and starting to go slowly ramp on up as everything's kind of falling into like the place itself. So maybe this is the point where let's say you want to go open up a lemonade stand. This is where like you're buying the lemonade, you're making sure you have like the bottles, you have the cups. You're not in full-on production of making the lemonade, but like you're basically making sure all of your ducks are in a row and that you're pretty much prepared to go and start making it. So one really big thing is that I think a lot of the big numbers we keep hearing are the 1.5 target numbers as well, which in all honesty, like, kind of might seem a little bit on the lower side because as of right now, we're at like 20 million PlayStation 5s, and as the VR technology gets better, it's brand new systems, people are excited, people want to spend money, and obviously it still depends on the price point, which I think a lot of people are still rumoring like the $300 to $400 range or so. A lot of this is also based on the current PSVR1 as well. So a lot of folks now are expecting on that the Sony may launch it on the Q1 of 2023. So I think that'd be at any point between like January, February, or March of 2023, depending on the development cycle, schedule of PSVR2 game titles. And I would actually say this actually makes a little bit more sense because although like the PSVR1 was cool, you also still want to have some proper good games coming. So with this, like we know that they want to have like a lot of big major first party games, a lot more updates, etc., and no one really wants to buy a brand new VR if there is no big reason or game specifically made for it or good like production with it at the end of the day. I think you guys could all agree on that. They'd be like if they release it and there's only one game, everyone's going to play that one game, and after that's all done, a lot of people will probably just be complaining that they waste all their money on it as of just in general. So that's kind of intriguing numbers to see that we're kind of expecting around 1.5 million units, and once again, this is not 1 zillion% confirmed, but just based on like, the actual production cycles and everything else. Also just only in the start of 2023, which I myself would be on the lookout for. I'd actually be very curious on this. So as you guys can probably know, they have been kind of even promoting out the brand new PSVR2, even on like their press meetings, where they have like the enhanced resolution and tracking, which once again, you would need to have someone specifically make and update the games to make sure they're going to work and feel good with. And as well, connect with the PS5 to on top of that with a single cord. Just all the easy stuff. Now, my one big caveat though, is that the PlayStation actually does have an exclusive of what we've seen with Modern Warfare 2, like the remaster remake. So I'm very intrigued on that, if anything. Mainly because, at the end of the day, if it releases day one, that it would actually mean that they actually want to have their release date even earlier. So that's why I'm kind of very curious in this upcoming state of play, because I do want to focus very heavily on PSVR2 news. And also like the games and showcases and trailers, even specifically said by them. So at the end of the day, I'm kind of curious if this actually might be already being produced and being made, and they're more so trying to get even more of them out in the near future. Like maybe you have like 1 million in production, or like start production soon, and then by the time 3-4 months from now, they can have the initial cycle, and kind of a similar thing where it might be out of stock for the first few months or so, and then stock kind of stabilizes maybe in the Q1 of 2023. That's just my expectations on this. Some other things. This is just all in their opinion. I believe PSVR 2 will have a good start thanks to the support of 20-plus game titles from first and third parties at launch. Sony's position and resources in the game industry can accelerate AAA VR game development, so think Horizon Call of the Mountain, benefiting the VR growth, which I would also agree on that too as well. I do think VR has been a kind of somewhat stagnant run when it comes to games and consoles, mainly because the potential's there. Like, I love VR. I have a Vive myself. But the one issue is that you need more games, you need more consistent games, and you need AAA support. And while there's a lot of really good indie games out there and like bare bones AAA support, because they probably just don't make that much money in VR as of yet, if you have something like Sony and PlayStation who's like, hey, we'll give you a few $1 million, go make this great, it kind of does incentivize up a lot of these game studios to make it great. Or say like they want to work with like Naughty Dog or Insomniac to make like some of those games into VR would make a lot of sense. The most notable hardware upgrade to the PSVR 2 is to start using optical modules. PSVR 1 doesn't equip with optical modules. PSVR 2 adopts 6 optic modules, or 4 720 IR cameras and 2 eye tracking cameras. Genius is the leading lens supplier. So in addition, Genius is also the primary supplier of spherical lenses for PSVR 2. In the AR, VR, MR era, I think Genius's high ASP orders of the spherical lens, Fresnel lens, and Pancake from both Apple and non-Apple will be a new robust growth driver. Other critical suppliers of PSVR 2 worth noting include Geortech Assembly, SDC is the OLED panel, and MediaTek processor, etc. So a lot of this stuff is always intriguing because it kind of goes to show that right now, a lot of these really big companies, so you see the Genius company, they are currently making and trying to produce and get as much of these lenses that are needed for the PlayStation VR 2. Which does add a lot more of the extra merit that is coming very soon. I mean, let alone by the fact that they've already announced it, we just still haven't gotten the release date, and I think you guys would probably agree. I'd rather have them have a lot of consoles and a lot of PSVR 2s than kind of what we had to deal with the PS5 and Xbox restocks, which was just a never-ending problem and never-ending supply issues that are still ongoing as of now. But as we're now seeing stuff like the Genius, and as well also like the SDC with the OLED panels and MediaTek, with all of them now kind of big producing all this content and making all this hardware and working on this hardware, I think it does go to show that this is looking and feeling pretty good. Like, it's feeling pretty spicy and growing pretty spicy. So I love seeing this. I love seeing the vibes of this. I love seeing the fact that this is actually finally coming. And instead of it just being like a press article and a release, it's at least, well, on the way. Like, it's coming very, very soon. So I love to see this. And as well, we kind of use this as a big reference too, because it actually did go and say like that for the original PSVR, it actually took over a year by itself just to even sell 2 million units on even a larger PS5 base. Although that was in 2016, and ever since then, we've had a lot more stuff, like the indexes, the valves, everything else. Like, there's so many different types of VR. But also even more VR games, and games like Beat Saber that do well, etc., etc. So, I'll be kind of curious to see if it's going to match the actual sales of it or not. Because you still have to actually have the proper PlayStation 5 to actually utilize it. So, if people can't even go and get a PS5 even then still, like maybe 6 months from now, well, then it might be even harder to want to sell VR, because if you don't even have the VR, or you don't have the console, why do you want the VR? So that's always kind of intriguing to look at these numbers too, because 2 million units in a year is kind of rough, and like I said, people keep on thinking the 1.5 would make sense. And that would be a very big growth. We'll see if it has to be sold out or not. Like, would you guys want to see restocks if we see it? Would you guys even want to buy it in the first place? Leave your comments down below. And as we mentioned too as well, they did also really want to push a lot of the VR too, like even on the PlayStation blog for this. So they might even announce like the date and times and all that stuff with this, so maybe we'll have a chance to see. But as you guys can probably know, they'll have some exciting reveals from our third-party partners, plus a sneak peek in several games in development for PlayStation VR 2 as well. So we'll definitely try our best to go and co-stream that, or at least give some recaps up on YouTube as well. And they have over their 20 games for PSVR2. So I think it's actually really big news. I love seeing the leaks. I love seeing the fact that it's pretty much in production / signed for production, and hopefully we'll have some good stock with it and not have a big stock drought with it as well. So give me your comments and thoughts down below. As well, make sure you guys enter in our nice little promotion over here / check on the links down below for the God tier monitor itself, Amazon links down below, the Twitter and Twitch room down below, the Weeble and Coinbase down below, the everything else down below, and I appreciate you guys all so much for watching in the first place.